Here we go. Hey, howdy, partners. All right, what's going on? First time catching a live stream. Hello, Juan. Welcome. Yo, done my build for this kit. Amazing kit. Yeah, I have not built anything from this company so far as I know. So I'm gonna see how it is. Chris said, "Hello from South Korea here. Currently working on the RX-782 version 2.0 RG." While on duty, found your channel and been hooked. Nice. How's it going there in Korea, Chris? I miss it, and I'm looking forward to traveling there again soon in the near future. I need to change my setting here. I'm just realizing that's actually not. Here's what we want you guys to see. I'm going to change that. There we go. Yeah, that's a little bit better. It's probably more what you guys are here to see. But yeah, so this is the Oracle or the Drackle, as I always think that it looks like. You can't really see it so much like the titling on this. I can show it to you on the box, but it's like on the other side. Anyway, the O in the titling on this, I always think like looks like a D, so it looks like Drackle to me. But is that a Chinese model kit? Yes. So this is again what we would call original mecha model, albeit original in its design. I think it definitely shares some design cues. What's up, Choco Falcon? Here to see you toss some kit into the air and catch it like boss. I mean, let me see. All right, for you. There you go. This kit, I mean, everything's all out of the box and everything. I can't toss this box. And my box over here, like the box for this kit, has all the big parts, which are like too big to fit into my organizer box, are there. So it'd be kind of a mess. Anyway, yeah, so even though this isn't like an original mecha model, I would say still it definitely has a lot of design inspiration, I think, from the Hiraru. Do I ever miss catching them? Yeah, of course. And what worries me, actually, over there when I toss it, like right behind me on the shelf, right behind me, when you guys see me do that, like catching the kits at the beginning of the video, right behind me on that shelf is like there's like some different figures and painted builds and stuff like that. So if I were to miss and like knock that shelf, it'd be bad if I knocked some of that stuff over. So I was like really worried about that. Sometimes it's like close, so I have to like be really careful. Anyway, yeah, I think there's a lot of design similarities to like the Advanced Zeta Haru, the Advanced Zeta version. Oh, why did that camera suddenly cut off? That's not fun. A lot of design similarities, yeah, to that version of the Gunpla. That's weird. I just took this battery off the charger, so I know it's good. Or maybe it's not. Oh, I had the battery plugged on the charger the wrong way, I think, so that might have been the problem. We'll see. That might become an issue again. We'll find out. Come on. There we go. All right. So anyway, you guys can hear okay, see okay, everything look and sound good. We can get started, yeah? You recommend buying these third-party kits from Amazon. I saw one and a few others, and they look sick. I mean, if you can get it from like either from us here at USA Gundam Store or like, I mean, anywhere else, other than Amazon, that would be my recommendation. I also can't speak on the pricing. If you're gonna like say if you want to get this kit and you checked every other site and everywhere is sold out, and it is available on Amazon, I mean, I would also just check to make sure the price isn't like exploded. Because I mean, a lot of times people sell stuff on Amazon at like kind of like market, it would be market value. Anyway, if it's like sold out everywhere else, they'll jack up the price on it there on Amazon is what I mean. So I mean, be sure to check for that. Edison, thank you for the $2 super chat there. I'm painted and now building my MG Rico Zaku. Oh, nice. Yeah, was tempted to get one of those. Is that still available on P Bandai? Because I'm still kind of tempted to get one. It's kind of a cool novelty Zaku, right? I'm gonna have to like move some stuff here to make some space. Let me see. Chris, you're watching Oppenheimer. Oh, nice. I've not seen that yet, so I need to watch it. My dad also gifted me the book. It would have been earlier last year. Like he got, I don't know if he got it from someone or bought it or whatever. I think maybe my mom might have got it for him or something like that. Anyway, he read it, I guess, and then gave it to me. And, so I like to read it, but I have a very long reading queue. Actually, just last night I was I've been reading The Martian Chronicles. I read Ray Bradbury. Really, really good book that I've attempted to read a couple times throughout my life, and I get like a certain ways into it, and then like something comes up, I set it aside, and then it's like years later I come back to it and then like try reading it again. This time I'm actually trying to read it. It's not that it's not good, it's just that I'm not the kind of person who's on like a regular schedule of reading all the time as much as I would like to be. So this time I'm actually trying to stick with it. I'm almost done. So like last night I was trying to finish it. I still have, I don't know, like 20 pages left or something like that. So got to finish that. I highly recommend it. Do I look tired? That's because I was trying to finish that book last night. That, and it's first thing in the morning here. So like I literally just, the hell is that? I literally just got into the office 30 minutes ago. I actually did get some rest last night. Yeah, no. There's a couple of different options here for the faceplate on this. There's one which is like kind of a smaller one. And then there's this other one, which is a larger one, which kind of covers the eyes more, which I think could be kind of cool, which looks a bit more sort of similar to like the advanced Hazel, how it has like the eyes covered, which I think is kind of cool. And I'm sure is probably, again, like considering the advanced Zeta inspiration for aspects of this design, I'm sure that's where that came from. But I'm going to stick with a smaller faceplate so that we can still see the eyes. But I'll keep that there to the side for right now. Anyway, I think third party is not the correct term. It's not affiliated to Bandai. It doesn't share any. It's legally. Yeah, that's what I made. I mean, I made a whole video on that topic about whether third party is really kind of the right terminology or not. And in that video, if you missed it, you can go back and check that out later. But yeah, I made a case that we should use a term, something like original mecha model or something like that, just because it's a bit of a mouthful, I suppose. Third party kind of rolls off the tongue a bit easier, right? But yeah, right. Third party is not the correct term. And I recently, even though that video was like a couple months ago now, I recently had like, this just kind of happens. Once like one person like comments on a video, it like goes back into the algorithm, starts making its way around again, because like YouTube thinks like, oh, it's getting some attention now. So I got like a couple of comments on that video recently, even though it's from like months ago, and people were pointing out that as they did like when the video first launched, I guess, but there's pointing out again that the term third party is commonly used in other like fandoms as well, and like Transformers, and what was the other one like people mentioned in the comments there. So like they were saying like that's where it comes from, just because it's commonly used in other fandoms as well. And so it's not necessarily like it is like wrong, as in like it's not exactly the correct term to use, but it's like just common use, and that's fine. And I mean, I'm sure I'll still call these kids third party all the time, just kind of out of habit. But yeah, technically it is not really the right term. So if we can get in the habit of saying something like original mecha model or something like that, or just mecha model kit. What PG do you recommend between the Unleashed or the Strike? I would say the Unleashed. The Strike is really nice, but it's very simple. I mean, and like obviously the Gundam is going to be relatively simple as well, but yeah, like it's got like a lot more going on. Oh no, I did just break this part, didn't I? But I think that's okay. Anyway, trying to get it onto this V-fin here onto the peg, it is a little bit tight. I don't want to squash that part either. Trying to get a good fit on that. I think it's like pretty good. It's like barely off, but it's okay. So we want these ones on here. Where? On top of the head. And then these here. Do you talk to Alex? Not as much as I would like to. I actually meant to call him the other day, and didn't. I need to call him. But I mean, it's just kind of one of those things that happens. Unfortunately, but yeah, no. Like he's busy, I'm busy. We're not in the same country anymore. So it happens, but yeah, I do need to talk to him. Meant to call him like around Christmas time, say like Happy Christmas. There's the head. Pretty nice. I mean, there's a little bit of a fit issue, like trying to get that in there. If I was you guys like building this kit, it seems like maybe some of the pegs are maybe going to be a little bit tight. We'll see. So far, we only got the head built, but it seems like the pegs may need a little bit of adjustment just to make sure that those have a good fit. But otherwise, I like it. I like how like the fins here on the top of the head can fold. I think that's part of the transformation, but still pretty cool. Looks nice thus far. I like it. Okay. Let's see. What's your prediction on MG after the Vidar, MG, and MG EX Wing Gundam? So next, we will probably get, just because we always seem to, another MG for Ka. Considering that we got 2 last year, I still think we will still probably get an MG for Ka maybe towards the end of the year this year. I think is likely. If not that, then I don't know, some other MG we'll get later. I think anyway, the Vidara is not going to be the only MG that we get this year, and also I think that the MGSD Wing is not going to be the only MGSD we get this year, even though I think that technically released in December, didn't it? So I mean, it's technically not even a 2025 release, although I think a lot of people are getting it in 2025. Myself included. I actually don't have mine yet, which is why you haven't seen me build it yet. Once I do get my hands on one, and we do have them here in stock. Although like for like new kits like that, especially like new and popular kits, I don't like to take them out of stock if possible. And it takes it possibly from one of you guys who might like to buy it. So like I usually get the stuff that I review, I usually try to get it like sent directly from Japan, so that way it's just kind of easier. Sometimes faster, although not always. Yeah, just kind of there what you just saw me doing. If it wasn't clear, I should have pointed that out to you guys. But this is one of those ones that has like the metal pre-assembled frame. And so I was just removing the arms and legs off this because now we're going to work on the torso. And just trying to get a sense here before we do of how the articulation on this torso works, because it looks quite interesting. So there's quite a bit of ab crunch here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, or a lot of it. So this is our torso, and you can bend it at the base, and then the like whole like kind of sides and back of the torso also kind of moves around like that. When are we gonna get a reprint of the MG Zaku 2 2.0? You talking like just the standard green one? I don't know. I don't know. All right. So let's see. And I'll just say, like, for like slightly tight fitting pegs is certainly not like new for this kit. It is like one of the most common I want to say issues of these like third-party or original Mecha model kits. It's just kind of something that pretty often comes with the territory. It's just because as good as the modeling, like the production processes are, Bandai's is just like so perfect. And if you're used to just building a lot of Bandai stuff, you're used to stuff fitting like incredibly perfectly. And it's just kind of not really fair to hold like every other model kit producer to that same Bandai standard. I mean, if you talk to like, that's why you see like these videos of like traditional like military modelers like trying Gunpla for the first time and they're so amazed by it. It's because like the fit and the color separation, everything else is like so incredibly amazing compared to everything else. So you hear like the sentiment that like Gundam modelers are spoiled, or some version of that. Like people who build Bandai models all the time are spoiled or whatever. I think a lot of times it's meant in a kind of mean way, which I don't agree with. But I think like realistically, yeah, it is true. Because like, yeah, if you only build Gundam and Bandai models, I mean, compared to building other, yeah, like almost any other kind of model kits, they are of a quality that's just so much better. So let's see. That's kind of interesting point of articulation here as well. But what I'm trying to do, that's interesting. Is that supposed to be like that? It's like, hang on. That doesn't look like that's supposed to be like that. Okay. Oh, it's interesting. So, oh, okay. Somehow in the process of moving the frame around, I kind of broke another part on here a little bit, it looks like. Just like a part of the frame. It looks like it's a pretty unconsequential part, so not really a big deal, but it's interesting. Especially once I get this part on here. Shouldn't matter at all, but it's weird. So don't be just idly messing around with it so much, I guess, is the lesson to learn there. There we go. All right. Spoiled or more demanding of quality. Depends on how you look at it. I mean, yeah, sure. You see that argument as well too. But I mean, I don't really go in for that one though. It's like now what you're talking about is like when people complain about a kit, like take for example like the RG Akatsuki. That's more of a case where like people expect a certain level of quality from Bandai, and then when Bandai releases something, so you're just like comparing Bandai to Bandai, talking about like expectations of quality. And I mean, if it's the case that Bandai's own product is not up to kind of like the standards that we typically expect, and that's a different case than kind of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just like generally Bandai's overall quality. Let's see. Compared to other different model kit manufacturers. I mean, because even on the Akatsuki, from what I understand, like our people's general complaints about that kit, it's more to do with like the stability of it. It's not like the parts don't fit. It's that like the frame can't support the weight or whatever, something like that. And so this hole here also just a little bit snug. So I'm just gonna drill this out a bit, I think. So anyway, it's not like the parts on the Akatsuki don't fit together. It's just that they fit together and then the kit has trouble supporting its weight. I mean, that's something that it's not really like what we're talking about like fit issues or whatever. Anywho, Zach, have you collabs with your twin Miniac? No, I've not. Of course, I've heard that many times that we look alike. I'm not sure if he's ever heard it as well. If he's ever heard that he looks like me, I have no idea. Never talked to him, no, so I don't know him. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean, it seems like a nice enough guy. I'm not sure what exactly a collab would look like or what would be entailed. He also has like much more of a production. I mean, like his content and production value and everything is like much more professional than mine, which is respectable. I mean, what mine like probably should be more like, but all right. So anyway, thus far, it's not been like a perfect build, but nothing too major, nothing too unexpected, nothing too surprising in terms of builds so far. Oh yeah. The gold plating looks like trash and the joints suck. I mean, yeah, so again, like the joints, you're talking about stability, which yeah, could be an issue. And as far as the gold plating, I mean, like that's completely subjective. So I mean, you know, that's just like your opinion, man, but that's fine. I mean, I think, you know, again, having not built it, I mean, as far as I can tell about the gold plating, I mean, it looks like pretty accurate to how I would imagine it's supposed to look. So, I mean, the other thing, of course, that people complain about with that case is of course, the price, but that's also due to the gold plating. So, I mean, like, but imagine for a second if Bandai had opted not to do that gold plating and just do molded gold plastic, then people would be complaining about how they don't like how the gold plastic looks. So, I mean, if you're Bandai, you kind of can't win either way. You do gold plating and it's really expensive, or you do molded gold and then people complain about that it looks ugly. So I don't know. I mean, if we could just take a quick poll of the audience here currently, which one would you guys have preferred? Gold plating, which is more expensive, or molded gold, which, I mean, I don't think looks that bad, but I mean, a lot of people complain that they don't like how the gold plating looks, or the gold plastic looks. Yakushiki gold would have looked better, slightly more pale. Not quite so. The Yakushiki is not like that kind of Mecha gold. I think is what you used to call it a lot, although I'm not sure if people still really call it that. Mecha plated. Do people still use that expression? Anyway, plated. Anyway. Let's see. The gold plating isn't that bad to me, Patrick said. Yeah, I think it's just for a lot of people, I think it's just a matter of like how much they're typically willing to spend for a model kit. I think for a lot of people who are willing to spend a little bit more for model kits, then they probably don't mind that. For the people who are probably the most displeased for it is probably people who just don't typically want to spend that much for a model kit, which I understand. You're used to being able to buy RGs for around, you know, 30, 40, $50 max, rather than having to spend like whatever, $90 or something. Yeah, it's like a big jump. And then to have like the quote unquote issues that has, I understand. You think you'll ever do a live build for a mechanical kit in the future or for a special occasion? So I did try that once and didn't get very far. The thing with those kits is, and like how I would want to go about building one, is because of the issues that those kits have and because of the complexity of the build and everything else. Those kits are the kind of kits, so like when I did do that before, I worked a little bit on the key, and just from like building the head of that, I realized kind of what I already expected was that they're the kind of kits that you can't like build it like this and expect to then later be able to take it apart and disassemble it like for painting. You kind of just have to paint as you go along because of the issues that they have. So that's why I would never like bother even like trying to live build anything else in hardcore, because they're just gonna sit in my storage, which is, I don't have like a storage unit, but storage just like at home where I store those kits. They're just gonna sit at home in the box until I'm actually ready to like paint the kits. I'm not gonna bother building it and then like painting it later, kind of thing. Habib said, first timer to join you from Indonesia. How's your family? You haven't shared how your wife's. You haven't shared how's your wife's progress for a while. Hope she's doing well. She is doing well. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I haven't really shared just because there hasn't really been too much to report. I mean, she's going through the different treatment processes, and yeah, it is going well. So, I mean, for right now, everything seems like it's, you know, going good. But, you know, it's one of those things that you're kind of never really 100% clear of, right? So we never really know like what still might happen in a year or 5 years or 10 years. Who knows? But yeah, right now everything's going well. Good. Thanks for asking. The old frame system that's being hit on the Husky is floppy. Yeah, I mean, I built the RG Strike ages ago before I was on YouTube, and that's one of the few things that I remember about it. Number one is not really liking the proportions of it, especially it having kind of like a big head, as I remember. And the other thing was, yeah, I do remember it being a little bit floppy. So yeah, I completely understand. And you would think, I mean, yeah, I mean, like, I completely understand people being upset with Bandai over doing that. I agree. That's not the decision that should have been made on that one. You would have thought that they would have learned that lesson with the RG Sunanju. Even though I think like the complaints about the Sunanju were probably not as vocal in Japan as they were for like outside of Japan. I don't think, I mean, but I'm not sure. I don't know if there was a lot of people even within Japan complaining about it. I don't know. I would assume some, yeah, but maybe it like wasn't as big of a deal as it was like for us here on the outside. But I'm sure, and I was at least, you know, at some degree aware of that frame, the use of the Mark II frame being problematic in the case of the Mark II, in the case of the Sunanju. So yeah, you would have thought that they kind of would have learned from that. But again, I don't know. Had it been a completely new original frame too, that also probably would have increased the cost. So it's like, well, we want to do it with gold plating, but that's going to make it expensive. So if we develop a new frame for that, that's going to make it even more expensive as well. do we want to try to sell an RG at a $110 price point or a $95 price point? And probably the business decision was made, as all of these decisions are, go with that, and unfortunately that's what we're left to deal with. But again, I've heard some about the issues. I've also heard from some people that it's really not that bad. I want to be able to build it myself to be able to judge my own opinion entirely. But again, even if I build it and I have a perfectly fine experience with it, I still understand that some people aren't having a good experience with it. It doesn't discount other people's experiences, but I understand about that. Let's see. There we go. This part's like not fit into there quite exactly right. Almost seems like there was a nub or something that was in there that I didn't get rid of entirely, but I don't think that was the case. It's just kind of a weird fit. Do you have Discord, Zach, or is it exclusively for Patreon members? It is for Patreon members. Yes, I do have one. And yeah, check that out. Let's see. I just saw that other part. Where was that? Other gray part for the shoulder is right there. Up next. After watching through all Unicorn series, I started to have interest in the Jim and Jagan line of mobile suits. They look... Was that cool for some reason? No, yeah, George, I think you're not alone in that. I think there was a lot of people that was turned on to a lot of grunt type mobile suits in some part, thanks to how cool they were showcased in Gundam Unicorn, for sure. There's our shoulder armor. Up the shoulders anyway. And then we've got our arms here, and I think the arms are symmetrical, so it doesn't really matter. I'm trying to figure out which one's which. It's just the top part is rotated. If they could have made, if they did, they could have made a 2.0 of the Strike and RG. I mean, yeah, that definitely could have been cool. I mean, yeah, I agree that could have been a way to mitigate the added cost of developing a new frame. They could have, yeah, I mean, now that 2.0 is in the RG line, now that that's a thing with the ARC 782, yeah, that's very true. They could have just opted to also, like later on, release a 2.0 version of the Strike. That would have been a good idea. Yeah, I'll give you that. That would have been nice. I've also heard from people though that they're tired of all the seed kits lately, which yeah, I mean, just because of the seed freedom and just because popular. I mean, because even not from seed freedom and just other seed stuff, and we always kind of are going to be getting new seed stuff from time to time. But Yeah, again, I understand that some people might feel a bit weary of seed releases. But I mean, they wouldn't have had to release the 2.0 of the strike like right away. Could have been something that could like come out a year or 2 years even later. I mean, if Bandai is going to make that investment, they're probably not going to want to be sitting on it for that long necessarily, but I don't know. All right, that's it for the arm. And well, after put this part on here too. There you go, like that. And this is actually for the left side, so kind of different from usual. With a lot of stuff, we're usually building the right side first. Left side, it's getting pretty big. You can kind of get a sense of how large this is going to be. It's definitely going to be larger than your standard 1/100 scale Gundam kit for sure. What do you think about the people Doom posting that Gunpla is dead or Gunpla Golden Age has passed just because they released 1MG per year while pumping out HG nonstop? I mean, let me think. I wouldn't even necessarily say that they're pumping out HG nonstop. Not even HGs are not coming out, as often as they used to. And I think that kind of ebbs and flows depending on whether there's like an ongoing TV series. So for right now, we don't have a current like TV series, even though we're about to have the G-Fox series. So that'll be starting soon. But at the moment, without having that, it does kind of seem slower, even in HGs. And we had like the Netflix series releases, and like the Seed Freedom stuff's like still kind of coming out a little bit here and there. I mean, once we start getting into the new series, we'll probably see 2 kits a month maybe from that series that will be coming out. So I mean, there'll be a lot more. As far as master grade goes, and so what I think is one of the reasons why we see fewer master grades and also fewer HGs and just kind of a lot of stuff less, like we don't see full mechanics or RE100 line kits hardly. I think so. A lot of this is due to like a few different reasons, but namely the fact that Bandai has their, what's the expression? What's it in? Not hands in a lot of pots or hands in a lot of baskets. They're doing a lot of different stuff. I mean, like, think about it. 20 years ago, Bandai didn't have like Pokemon model kits and One Piece model kits and Dragon Ball model kits and 30 Minutes Missions and 30 Minutes Sisters and 30 Minutes Fantasy. They're just doing so much. So, I mean, they don't have the capacity to be putting out, a new master grade every month, and then also all these other things. Maybe someday they will be back at that level of production capacity again, but I mean, it makes sense for at the moment why they're not. So even with the addition of the second factory, I mean, it's just a lot. So I would not say that. I mean, it kind of feels like, I've been around long enough to know that it kind of feels like not necessarily that that Gunpla is dead or that the golden age has passed, but again, it ebbs and flows. So like every time when there's a lull, in particular between TV series, it always kind of feels like the interest just kind of dies down a bit for a while. Then new series will come out, and then the people's interest will be reignited. That's just kind of how it goes. you have a lot of like coming and going of the casual fans, I guess you could call it, right? People that are not necessarily like long-time Gundam fans, but just anime fans, whatever, who, when the new anime comes out, they check it out and they're interested and they want to build some model kits. And then when the anime is done, and if they just kind of lose interest or whatever, they'll kind of get out of it. They'll maybe buy models for a couple of years and they'll enjoy it, but as their interests change, they go on to other things. So yeah, I think that happens. What's good is that every time there's a new series, we add 100,000 new fans. If 80,000 of those fans, then later go away again when the series is done, 20,000 are still around. There's still, like, every time we have a new successful series, it's still like a net positive, adding more fans to the fan base, more people buying model kits and everything. So still adding people, which is good. Which is why you still see like a overall continued increase in like Gundam model popularity and just like the Gundam fandom in general. It's never gonna go away. No, I don't think so. Okay. So what I'm building right now is like the arm cannon kind of binders. An arm. It's actually like one of the last things that you build, but because it's connected to the arm, that's just kind of how I put the parts into my box here. And so that's why I'm putting this together right now. We'll come back and do the other arm for just a moment. That's what's going on with this. Wait, that's supposed to have a little bit of a gap there? I guess it is, huh? Okay. And then these parts here. Especially considering that they restock them pretty rarely. What's this? Oh, about MG. I'm betting they announced the MG Rising Freedom in May. I mean, any MGs from the Seed Freedom movie, honestly, I'm going to be kind of surprised. I think it's very possible, and it would be cool, and it would be popular. Although, just, I'm not sure. Time will tell, but yeah. Right, this whole can't get to fight it. Not gonna work. Could squeeze it, but that's all right. Okay. Bandai is exhausted. It is low on production. It is low on MG, RG, or even HG. I ask you, should we surrender? As I've talked about before too, I mean, the more elaborate the kit, like an MG, or a PG, or even RGs, I mean, that's more, again, it's just more of an investment for Bandai, more cost to produce, and so another thing to take into consideration is not only the cost for like designing it and everything, but the cost in that, if Bandai's making an MG which requires 15 runners. So that means it's 15 different mold machines that got to be running with 15 different molds to make those 15 different runners to produce that one kit. Alternatively, if they're making 3 MGs that require 5 runners each, or 3 HGs, I'm sorry, with those same 15 machines running all the time, they could be releasing 3 different HGs, and making just making more profit off of selling 3 kits rather than selling 1 kit. So, yeah. Looking at it that way, you can see why it kind of makes sense for them to be making a lot of HGs. This really? Let's see. I buy less and less MG due to space. The only MG I want right now are clear versions and just to repaint the. Yeah, that's another thing. It is important to point out too. Yeah, if you're buying MGs all the time, it's also gonna run out of space. And for a lot of people, that may not be at the top of their concerns. But again, remembering that Japan is where their primary audience is, and space is much more of a premium there in Japan. I think it's probably further down the list in terms of like considerations that they have to make, but it's definitely a consideration. I mean, like in other countries, like people can just buy, MGs indiscriminately, but in Japan, I'm sure there's a lot more people who do maybe not want to buy every single MG because space is a concern for them, and they'll still sell plenty of it, no doubt, but you might need to consider that. This, did I miss this somewhere along the way? Or this doesn't go on this pivot. Let's see. I thought it did. Oh yeah, it goes on the cannon, so it's not even here. Okay, so here's the arm kind of cannon binder sort of thing, as it were. These parts at the bottom kind of like open up for some reason, although they really don't need to. And this part here at the back kind of open up like that. These bits here open out like that. That's just going to be attached onto the side here. May not be the best idea to attach this right now, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's going to look like that. All right. They spent the money on R&D for the MG Barbatos, and it took them how long to make the Vidar? Yeah, I agree. That is really odd. Something's weird. I don't know if I agree with the MGs are hard to develop thing. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any inside information on this. But I would say in that case, yeah, I get your point. You're saying like, if MGs are investment and they only want to produce MGs if they can be certain that they're going to get a good return on that investment, then why do they just sit on the IBO frame for so long? I don't know. It could just be like a production schedule conflicts as well. Like they just have, it just wasn't like a priority. Like they knew they were ultimately going to use it. Just, I don't know, the timing wasn't right compared to other things that they had to produce. I mean, they wanted to make different releases for different things going on, like currently, things like that. I don't know. It's like now that IBO is done, it's not like it's an ongoing series. So like they want to get the kit out, which I think they should have. They should have been producing more MG IBO kits, like while IBO was actually like at the height of everyone's interest. So I mean, I don't know how something like that gets fumbled, but also kind of related to like Armored Core too. Like they should have had these Armored Core kits like coming out when the game was releasing, when it was like big hype for everyone. The fact that Bandai and also Kotobukiya as well have like all their Armored Core stuff coming out like 2 years after the release of the game seems like kind of a fumble of that business decision as well. I don't really get it, but I'm sure there's a lot more involved that we're just not privy to, for sure. And you know, I understand that these things take time, even though that Bandai owns From Software, right? With the developer for Armored Core, so like they obviously knew the game was in development. It wasn't like a surprise for them. But I mean, I don't know, just in terms of like how the development process goes, and you know, it takes time, but still, you'd have thought that somebody would have been on that. So I mean, the same thing for IBO. Kind of surprising that, yeah, we didn't have more the IBO stuff coming out at the time. They had like the RE1, or not the RE100, but the full mechanics kits, and I think that maybe they were just kind of banking on that, and I don't know. Then, you know, I guess you could say, well, then why even release the master grade at all if they were just confident in the full mechanics kits? Or the regular Barbatos was not even a full mechanics, it was just a non-grade 1/100 scale. But I don't know. I don't know. You know, they also have to figure like what's going to sell well, what's going to be popular. Maybe it just so happened that for this particular, you know, last year or however many years in advance that they kind of try to chart this stuff out a little bit. They were thinking, you know, like this time of the year, you know, beginning or like first quarter of 2025, we don't have anything else big like kind of planned, so it's a good opportunity to then kind of put in that MGIBO release that they've been just kind of keeping in their back pocket. I don't know, something like that. I agree. I mean, you would have expected that we would have had a couple more MGIBO releases by this time, at least one more than just the Barbatos. But and it's not like the Barbatos didn't sell well, so that's certainly not the reason. I mean, like, you could have understood that if the Barbatos like just kind of didn't really do that well, you could understand why they would hold off for a while, if not indefinitely, on making more. But it sold really, really well. Dying for an MG or a really good HG of an insane out there weird design. We'll see, like the Gump. I mean, we just got the HGC Bolanok Saman. I mean, that's a pretty weird and out there design. It's maybe not like the weirdest or the wackiest, but it's definitely unusual. And it's the first like proper HGUC kit we've had in a long time too. That's another line that was just kind of not getting any love for a while. I mean, like, people talk about how we don't get any MGs. Well, we do get a lot of HGs. We don't necessarily get a lot of HGUC stuff very often. I mean, there's obviously a lot of other centuries, a lot of other lines that they can go into. Like, we instead have been getting a lot of seed kits, and all the seed kits I've been getting have been really, really cool. Like HGUC, I mean, just think back. There was a time when we were getting like a new HGUC kit every month. That's not the case anymore too. So, I mean, times change. What can I tell you? I don't know. Just one of those things. But for me, at the end of the day, are we getting cool kits that are nice and fun and enjoyable? And as long as the answer is still yes on that, then I'm happy personally. I mean, like, is there other things that I would rather be getting? Sure. But, you know, unfortunately, I'm not the CEO of Bandai. I'm not able to make those decisions. If I would just do a community poll with you guys, like every other week, once a month, something like that. I'll just do a community poll, see what you guys want, and I'll just make. That's why I'm asking for your vote in this year's Bandai CEO election. Vote for me, and I promise to make everything that you guys want. More MGs, more. What else do you guys want? Pretty much just more MGs, right? I don't know. More PGs. 1 PG per year, at least, would be my promise. 1 MG per month is asking too much. Can't do that. But can do 1 MG every 2 months. We'll do 6 MGs per year. 1 PG per year. And I promise that we will see a return of the RE100 line. Those are my campaign promises for you guys. You gotta vote in this year's Bandai CEO election. Okay. Just imagine it. And I promise to put a stop to Bandai producing. You got my vote. Oh, thank you. I promise to put a stop to Bandai producing One Piece model kits. I just don't understand who's buying One Piece model kits. I don't know, people do, but I don't know. It's one of those markets that I feel like, is this really like the best investment? One Piece model kits? I mean, people buy them, I guess. I don't know. Doesn't seem like it's that many people buy them, but some people do. Transform model kits. I mean, those was it the Furai ones? Those ones look pretty nice. I mean, they're not transforming, right? I guess, but really, I mean, if you want a model kit of a car, just buy a car model kit. If you're buying a model kit of a transformer, it's probably that you want like the robot, right? I will wait for the return of your master grade, the review of your master grade Vidar in the future. Yeah, I mean, definitely, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really glad, actually, that it is the Vidar that we're getting compared to some other options. I mean, some of the IBO designs I like more than others, and the Vidar is definitely one that I like more than some of the other designs in this series. Definitely, so I'm happy that that's what we're getting. A lot of people like the Veil. I don't really like the Veil design quite as much. There's certain aspects of it that I kind of like, but not really. The Barbatos Lupus, I also don't really care that much for either, to be honest. Lupus Rex would have been interesting, just because that's like such a more kind of out there and wild design. It certainly would have been interesting. The regular Lupus, I just find kind of boring. It's not like the most exciting design for me. The Vidar is cool. The Kimaris, I don't know like kind of which version of the Kimaris is sort of interesting. I don't know which version. If I like had to pick one, no, there goes the battery. Which version I might like most, I don't know. But if I really had my choice, like any kind of MG anything from IBO, what I would really, really love is actually the Greys. I would love the Greys, but I mean, since we already had the frame of the Gundam, we kind of knew that it was going to be another Gundam. So, I mean, with that in mind, I understand that limits your options, but I mean, I would love either like the Greys or Valkyrie frame, like the Grimgird or something. That would have been awesome. MG Gushin 120 plus. I just hope that if they were to make an MG Gushin, they wouldn't do like what they did with the full mechanics kit, make it like both 2 kits in one. Oh, battery. That would have put an end to the stream real quick. Where if they were to make like the Gushin and the Gushin remake packaged together, like they did with the RE100 or the full mechanics kit. I really, really hope that they don't do that if they release an MG of that kit. MG Marcosius with the cape, be worth the investment. Yeah, less likely considering it's not something from the anime, but it's a pretty cool design, yeah. The IO frame. It's not IO, it's IO frame Shiden, yeah. Looks like a gym design, yeah. Probably wouldn't have sold all that well compared to one of the Gundams, I feel like. I feel like that's something. Let's see if we can manage this just without instructions here. Bandai being concerned about the sales of a grunt versus like a lead mobile suit, a Gundam, or even like an antagonist lead mobile suit, like to Snunju or Snunju Stein or whatever. Anyway, that we've seen. Them being more nervous about wanting to make any kind of grunt designs is unfortunate. One thing that I've noticed about the design of this kit that I'll point out to you guys is that, like here, just pop this part back off again. So one thing about like fit issues on kits like this, something that you sometimes have to worry about, like you have like these 2 parts here on the side that go together, and then you have to worry about like, okay, if it's not like a good solid fit, if those might pop off or something. But these 2 parts that go together, and then they're held on by this part which holds them together, and we've got this part which goes over the top which also locks them together. So then they're locked in place by this piece, and then they're also locked in place by this piece here on the back side. So like everything's now super solid because it's all locked in. So like as long as this part here on the top and this part here on the back don't pop off, like this part here on the front still holding these together. You have these couple other tertiary kind of parts that fit on the outside, like this one here just fits on like the back side of like the cuff there. So this one might pop off. That's where like the beam emitter goes. Beam effect part's gonna pop out of there. That part might pop off, but a lot of like the main armor parts seems like so far are made in a way so that they're held into place by other parts, which is good. So that's nice. Just kind of ensures that nothing's going to be coming off as much as possible. So there's that. Here's our shoulder armor. And we can put this on here. And it's a nice that's a nice long peg that fits onto, so that's good that the peg's not too short. It's got other hand options here where we have a bunch of different fixed closed hands. Let's see. Okay. We got this one. What's your thoughts on Gundam Assemble potential? Will it get popular or it'll be a bust? It really just kind of depends on how much Bandai invests into it. I think, if they're invested into it and, they're really pushing it and they're coming out with a lot of designs, like if they come out with like a couple of sets per year, it's not really enough for people. I mean, considering that it's a game aspect to it, right? So they need to be able to release, new sets somewhat consistently, at least like every couple months or something like that. Ideally, something along those lines. And so as long as they're able to, be putting out new sets, and also just like keeping the interest in other ways as well. I mean, like just through different social media and marketing and campaigns and things like that. Different events or something would be cool too, especially considering that it's supposed to be a game again. I think, who was I talking to about this? I was talking to someone about this. What's that? I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, but I feel like all they have to do is basically look at what the Pokemon Company does with like the Pokemon TCG, just copy and paste that marketing strategy. I mean, like have live competition events, and try to be releasing new stuff consistently, exciting stuff. It doesn't have to be like even new mobile suits every time. I mean, we could get like every time we get a new volume. It's like, imagine how like every time when there's new Pokemon cards, right? There's always going to be some new Pikachu card, or there's always going to be some different like you get a lot of the same Pokemon like again and again and again, right? And it's fine. People don't mind as long as it's like new, interesting like cards, new, nice art, things like that. So, I mean, if Bandai's willing to do all that, then I think it'll be popular and it'll be successful. Yeah, for sure. Because there's certainly enough interest generally in Gundam that they can kind of push it more into that space. Do I think it's like something that will be detrimental to Warhammer and Games Workshop? No, I think they'll still do perfectly fine. Bandai's not going to kill them. But there's definitely a lot of potential for that line and that series to do well. So it's really kind of in the hands of Bandai. And I hope that's going to be successful. At the very least, it's like with anytime we get a new like TV series too, or anything, like anytime we're getting new stuff, I'm just glad that we're getting, more model kits to enjoy. So I'm happy about that regardless. And miniature painting is certainly not my forte. It's not my area of expertise, but hey, maybe this will give me a good excuse to kind of try it out more, kind of get more into it, try out that kind of style of painting. And not only me, other people too. So ultimately, it could be something that actually works out rather than like being something that kills Games Workshop, Warhammer and all that. Instead of being like damaging to them, if anything, it could get more people interested in that stuff as well. It's like Gundam fans are gonna be like, okay, I'll try miniatures, even though it's something that like maybe I didn't really want to get too into before. If they try it out through Gundam, they get interested. Eventually, if that's not like what Bandai's putting out is not enough like to really keep them satisfied, then they might like try out some different Warhammer and whatever else too. So could go that way as well. Okie dokie. Legs. Everyone has them, but what are they good for? I'm here. No, it sounded like an Ollie G intro, didn't it? Legs. Everyone has them, but what are they good for? What are they used for? And why do people have them? I'm here to talk with this expert about it. Uyakasha. They'll coexist instead of eating. Yeah. I definitely agree that they will definitely coexist. One's not gonna destroy the other. They're both like too well established. Really? Have you heard of the G-Quox timeline rumors? Yes, I have. and it's certainly interesting. I don't know. I mean, until we get anything confirmed for sure, I'm not gonna believe anything too much quite yet. That's certainly interesting. Yeah, absolutely. I won't say anything about it just for people who maybe haven't heard. Maybe some people might not want to hear, because if in the case that any of that turns out to actually be true, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. But yeah, there are sort of rumors anyway about sort of timeline and the story of G-Quarks. It's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if it does turn out to be true, it's interesting. I don't mind it. Whatever happens to be the case, I mean, there's going to be people who will find a way to complain about it no matter what. So that's unavoidable. Kind of interesting how this part of the legs, like the kind of inner frame of the legs here, does actually remind me a lot of the Sinanju Stein and then Sinanju, like the Sinanju's frame. It's kind of very similar shape too, especially this lower leg part, and you have like this thruster out the back, and just kind of the general size and shape of the frame reminds me a lot of the Sinanju. Okay, so we gotta bend that. Here. That's a Sazabi inner frame. Oh, is it? It could be. Sure. No, okay. So this goes on here first. Let me put the knee armor on. Knee armor is not that one. No. Give it a good squeeze there. Okay. There was a lot of, I mean, as you guys are probably noticing, but there was a lot of parts for this kit too. Like when I first kind of just like looking at the kit, I mean, you can see that it's like a very like complex looking design, but a lot of times, I don't know about a lot of times, but I mean, sometimes you can achieve the look of the kit looking very complex without it necessarily having, you know, a ton of parts. But this is certainly one that they had even more parts than kind of what I was expecting. There's quite a lot here. Once I started actually cutting off all the parts from the runners and all that, it's like, oh man, it's a lot of parts. It took a long time actually to get everything all prepared for the live build today. Basically spent almost all day yesterday just like preparing all the parts. So it will certainly give you a lot of value. I'm realizing I forgot to put these parts on here. Hopefully it's not too late. These parts are also kind of what reminds me of the Sanju, because it has like similar parts like this that kind of go on the top of the lower leg, like right underneath the knee there, like that. Very similar. That's there. This part goes next onto here, and then this part goes over the top. Like that. Okay. Everyone clear on that so far? Yes? Okay, good. Just gotten bored with Witch from Mercury. Hoping the new series is good. I dropped Witch from Mercury after the splat and don't regret it. I mean, I don't know. I can't blame you. I didn't keep up with it. I would like to. I'd like to go back and actually watch some more. But I only actually watched the first 2 episodes. Not very much. It's just a matter of I just didn't have time. But I would like to. So it's amazing that I was able to watch Requiem for Vengeance. So I count that as a win. And actually, while I was on vacation, I watched the first half of Gundam Hathaway's Flash. And I need to go back and finish watching the second half of that at some point. That's a slow start movie. Oh, Gundam Hathaway? Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of slow, which I don't necessarily mind. But yeah, you're right about that. I'm assuming that the action will pick up a bit more in the second half. Alright, so should be another one of those guys. There it is. Waiting out here. Oh, another thing to point out to you guys about this kit is that almost everything was undergated. So if you like that, you'd be glad to know that there was a lot of undergating on this kit. I don't necessarily really like that, especially on a kit that's not plated like this. In that case, in my opinion, there's not really any reason for it to be so undergated, but yeah, there was a lot of it. That, and then here. Wait a second. Whoa. One, two, three. Okay. Kind of interesting. Are you wearing pants? I'll leave that up to your imagination. You can decide that for yourself. I won't be one to infringe on your freedom to imagine if I'm wearing pants or not. Come on, there we go. Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting part here for the front, how these armor pieces kind of like fold in right, like that. This just goes right here on the front. A lot of moving parts. Okay. Phew. All right. To think we got a whole other second leg to put together. And then the cannon backpack and the back skirt, huge like thruster shield part things and everything too. There's still a lot of kits built of this thing. There's a lot. Is this your studio or what? Yes, it is my studio. That's correct. Or what? I just hope that the game makes sense to play. Oh yeah, talking about the miniature game will have a tie-in with the card game as well. I mean, I think you'll be able to play one without the other, but yeah, it will be interesting to see how that all works. Oh, this just goes like this, huh? Will you be posting on Jiao Hongshu Red Note? I don't know what that is. Is that like Chinese kind of like blog website sort of? No. Anyway, if that is what I'm thinking that is, then the answer is no. All right. So again, yeah, this is just like more moving parts here. This is for like the outside part of the leg here. Oh, we are gonna use those ones. There was a couple of parts which I thought were leftover parts, which apparently they're not. Yeah, I was kind of worried if maybe they aren't leftover parts. That's why I didn't throw them away yet. You never know. I just kind of missed them in the manual. Yeah, even on these little joint parts, they're undergated as well. Hello, Alexandra. Gotta book it soon. Thanks for the interesting build today. You're welcome. Thanks for coming to check it out. I don't know what the next live stream next live build might be, or the next live stream, I guess, for that matter. We're due for an episode of Gunpla Critique, so that should be coming up soon. And then won't be this week, but next week will be the way that the schedule kind of is set up currently. Like the live streams that I do with Adam on the USA Gundam TV channel and the Plamono Trend episodes that I'm doing with Ryan are currently on the same day. I should change the schedule so that they're on opposite Fridays, so that they're not, because they're both on the same Friday, how it is now. I should change that. You said that if you were the Bandai CEO, you would just make a poll and print the most popular kit. I think you have to take care of the fringes as well. I need a Gundam Wing Ares, also an HG Heavy Arms Custom EW. Yeah, I mean, I would make sure that everybody eats good. But I think that if you were to put the Ares in a poll, it would do well. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily. I mean, yeah, I think as far as Bandai is concerned at the moment, probably it's not really high on their priority list. But in terms of just it suits that fans I think the Ares is got to be up there, depending on what it's up against in the poll. But I'm sure it would do pretty well. Didn't have that part on there quite right the first time around. Okay, so the leg is done, and then of course we also have the foot. So let's skip ahead. It has you build the left leg, then the right leg, then both the feet. But I've got the feet here separate with each of the legs. Oh, come on. Be like that, huh? Um, True Legs also looks cool to boot. More thrusters. Yeah. Have you guys seen any good movies lately? I recently watched, just kind of like while working on this kit and on other stuff recently, watched The Island of Dr. Moreau. Both versions. I think there's only two. There might be more than two. I don't know. It's like an old version and an old version. And it's one of those that like I've heard of. Of course, it's like a famous C.S. Lewis book that's based off of, but just never seen it or really knew anything about it. I didn't even really know like what the story was about. But, I watched the 90s maybe, and then after that watched the like 1970s, I think it was 1970s version as well, and quite interesting. I liked it. One of those that like I'm surprised that I never saw it before. It's kind of like right up my alley in terms of kind of movies that I'm interested in, sci-fi, and especially like a lot of like older sci-fi stuff like that. So it's something that I should have seen ages ago. But yeah, just watched for the first time. It's kind of interesting. Those are both good movies. I watched the newer one when it first came out. Oh, okay. Yeah, the 1990s one. Nice. Did I miss? When do these parts go on here? Oh, I did. I think I can get these on. Okay, yeah, I can. Yeah, they were both of the movies kind of were a little bit campy when it came time for like the monsters, right? I think both the old one from like the 70s you would kind of expect, and even though I saw them in reverse order, I mean I saw the 1990s one and like saw like how campy everything was, so I was expecting, oh man, it's gonna be like way worse in the 70s one. But I mean, they were honestly on like a similar level of campiness, in that they were both pretty goofy. The 70s one was expected though, but the 90s one, I mean, I kind of would have imagined it, or would have hoped that would have been a little bit better. But I wonder what the reaction was at the time. Like I haven't gone back to look at any like older reviews or even like newer reviews, like old kits, like, or not old kits, old movies like that. I like to like watch reviews for after I've seen the movie, just to kind of see what other people thought about it. Like another one that I saw, this was like probably close to like 6 months ago, relatively recently, like an older movie that I just sort of recently saw for the first time, was The Fog. And that one, it was interesting to like watch the movie, and I liked it, and then I went and like watched some reviews about it and stuff. So anyway, I've not yet, but I would like to watch some reviews about Island of Dr. Moreau, because I'm wondering kind of what other people kind of think about the campiness of it, and if there was kind of, especially at the time in the 90s, what people thought about it. If they were like, oh, this is like slightly better than the 1970s version, but I don't know, not really. And then Marlon Brando was in it and was interesting. I don't know, and very different. Like the actual Dr. Moreau character between the two versions, very different. Between who was the actor in the 70s version? I can't remember the actor's name, but that actor and like the character played by Marlon Brando was definitely much more weirder. I don't know which one's more accurate to the book. So now I've got the audiobook queued up. There's a really good audiobook reading on YouTube from a channel. I can't think of the channel name, but it's one that I've listened to a couple other audiobooks on there from the same guy who does really great work. He's got one for the Island of Dr. Moreau. So now I want to listen to the audiobook and kind of get a sense of which movie is closer to the book. And especially for like the Dr. Moreau character, just because it was very different between the two versions of the movie. So I wonder which one's more accurate. Is the Oracle based on another mobile suit, or is it original design? Well, I was saying, Axel, at the beginning of the stream, I was talking about how it's mostly like original, but you can definitely see some design similarities between this and the Gunpla Haru, the Advanced Zeta version of the Gunpla R6 Haru. So I mean, it's got like the arm like binders like the Gunpla. It's got like the front skirt armor and like the torso is like kind of all like similar shaped like the Gunpla. The legs also in kind of similar shape. So, and then the color scheme, obviously, it's pretty advanced Zeta in terms of the color scheme. So I think it's like pretty closely inspired by that mobile suit design for sure. Because I've already got the instructions opened up to the feet. I'm just going to build the feet first here in reverse order. AOZ mentioned take a shot. Yeah. Speaking of Bandai and MGs, I am kind of surprised that we haven't seen an MG Wound War, just because, I mean, it would be P Bandai, no doubt, which, I mean, is unfortunate, but, I mean, it would be an MG Wound War, though. I mean, who wouldn't love that? Considering over the past couple of years, all the different Advanced Zeta stuff, because, I mean, think about it, we didn't get anything Advanced Zeta for a long time, and it just didn't seem like we would. But then we started getting more and more and more Advanced Zeta stuff. And it's all P Bandai, but still. And not only HG. We saw different versions of the Hazel in MG, which was really cool. And then there's just been so many different versions, and also not even different versions of the Wound War, but just reprinting of the Wound War. We had like the Gundam-based Clear version as well. And then, yeah, just reprinted, reissued on P Bandai. I mean, the Wound War's been reissued a bunch of times. It might as well be a standard release at this point, just because of how many times, kind of like the Master Grade Tolgis 3, it's been reprinted so many times and it's so easily available. It might as well be a standard release, even though it's a P Bandai item. So you would think, I mean, they wouldn't be doing that if there wasn't like a good amount of people out there who just are big Wound War fans. So you would think that would warrant a Master Grade Wound War. I mean, because then they can make versions of the Master Grade too. I don't think that they would ultimately end up making like a lot of versions of the Master Grades, again, just for like the same reasons we've been talking about, why they don't make more Master Grades generally. I mean, it's expensive and everything else, but they could certainly make a couple. Like they have a couple different versions of the Master Grade Hazel. So that's a bit of a mystery, but again, if I was the CEO, I might do things differently. Put away my part separator. I probably shouldn't have, because I'm sure I'm going to need it again at some point for something. It's not that one. It is, or is it that one? Maybe it is that one. No, it's not. It's oh, okay, that dark colored plastic, that one. Like that. And then oh, that's the knee. That's the leg. That's not that. Where is it? Where's the part for the top of the foot? No. I think we're just going to get more of what we already have. Yeah. No MGG self, disappointing. Yeah. Yep. That's another one too. Like, yeah, the G self is not a particular favorite of mine, and I think it's not one of the most popular like Gundam designs generally. But I mean, who doesn't love a new MG? And also, MG would be a huge improvement in terms of just a kit representation of the G self compared to the HG. Where is this piece? Let's see. Should be, yeah. No, this one here, isn't it? I think so. Yeah, okay. Yeah, G self would be nice. Quite big honking feet here for this thing too, and you can see how this part can go down like that. I think that's for the transformation, right? Something like that. Yeah, it does transform, which is another reason why I say that it's kind of certainly influenced a bit by the Gunpla. Which actually, if you guys are if you guys have not ever built the HGUC Gunpla, we actually just here at USA Gundam Store, we just got it, like a restock of it yesterday. I would really recommend it for you guys. It's a really cool kit, even though it's like an older HG kit. It holds up really well, and you get a lot of stuff in it, which is mostly like you get the parts for like the large booster in there, which you can use. Like, speaking of advanced data, you can use that with your AOZ kits. Yep, exactly. It has the booster. Yep. So I mean, with that, it should be a say no more fam. But I mean, even booster aside, it's a really nice, solid kit too. So it's a good HGC kit. Plus the fact that you have the giant booster. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. If you guys have not built that kit, definitely check it out. Just built one, yeah. I wanted to buy one, but decided to get something else. Well, still available, as far as I know. Man, one of those kits that, I mean, does get reprinted from time to time, but not like that often. I mean, it's not like one that's often hard to find, but certainly could be. Would have thought right after the State of her car release that the C1 would get a quick follow-up. Yeah, that would have been cool. Yeah, I mean, I was not really surprised that it didn't. It would have been nice. It would have, but I wasn't gonna hold my breath on that. Yeah, would have been cool to see a new Data C1 or A1 or anything new kit based off of that. But not this time. We'll get you next time, Bandai said. Although it wasn't that long ago that we did get the new version of the Faz for a cost. I mean, like, that's something. Your Sentinel fan. We got that. That's nothing to shake a stick at. After the first leg, I found this part's kind of easier to get this lined up. Look at it from the bottom. Okay. Now, here's that. Okay. Anyway, after this, later today, I'm gonna be working on my video that I mentioned in the last video. If you guys saw, I talked about how I'm going to be. I made my video on what were some of my favorite Gunpla kits from 2024, and I also wanted to make a video talking about what were some of my favorite non-Gundam kits that I built in 2024. So that's what I'm going to work on later today for you guys, so stay tuned for that. And of course, I'll be working on the review of this guy probably tomorrow. And also going to need to start painting on my Machining Krieger Snake, Year of the Snake custom build. Looking forward to getting that painted up. And then finishing, so I gotta finish up, so I'll paint and finish up that, and then by that time it should be good. There's just like a little bit of cleanup work that I'm still working on with the Rigelgu Gundam Mecha Bash as well. So by the time I finish working on the big Machining Krieger kit, then I should be ready to like start painting the Gundam Galgu Bash kit as well. And then after that, then it should be kind of like the next few like painted builds should work pretty well to just be kind of like working on the finishing stages of like the building process of one while painting the other. And so that when like one painted build is done, then the next one's ready to be done, so that they should all kind of like back to back to back in terms of like being ready for paint and all that. So should go pretty well. It's just a process, but kind of going all right. The Duke looked awesome. Those Chinese kits are pretty good. Yeah, that figure in that kit, but yeah, that figure, yeah, really, really cool. I was very impressed. I mean, in all honesty, like reviewing those, on the one hand, I kind of dread a little bit just because they take forever to review, even though I don't have to build it. It's still like oops, oh, it just fell, something. Oh, what? I think, no, it's not that. What was that just fell? I don't know. Yeah, they just like kind of take a long time to review. But oh no, where did that? Is that what just fell or dropped, or where did that go? It's not what like flew across the room, was it? Was that part? I think it was. How'd that happen? Go ahead and stick this down here first real quick. That's odd. Okay, so where did that part go? Shoot, now I have to find this. Let's see, hopefully it's not going to be difficult to find. Parts diving, yeah, something like that.
That's not what fell here. Let's see what fell. So I feel like
that part didn't fly across the room. It's like a pretty hefty part. I would have noticed that. But where did it go? Just right on here. I'll have to watch the playback on the live stream or something like that. Into the black hole. Yeah, let's see. It's not in my pocket or my shoe. I've had parts fall and go into my shoe. I didn't find it until I went home. I didn't hear it fall to anywhere. I don't think. I'm sure it's right in front of me. I'm just not seeing it. Let's see. Okay, let's finish putting together the rest of this first, so we can eliminate everything else that's in front of us. All right. Can someone go back and watch the playback and see where it went? I found it. If only that would at least let me know where it is, if it was in your room. Okay. We need that for that. All right, so here's this. Check your chair. I can get up and check it right now. Nice long peg for connecting the legs as well, albeit it's not super tight. It's tight enough. I'm worried it'll be tight enough to hold it on there, but the concern is that if you move around the leg a bunch, every time you move it, it kind of wiggles it off the peg ever so slightly. So if you keep moving it and moving it and moving it. Here's how we're looking so far, though. It's quite large, as you can see here. I don't know if it's quite perfect grade size. I mean, not exactly quite that big. It's certainly very big, though. We still got a bunch more to build. Let's see. Let me do a little searching here real quick to make sure it's not right underneath me. Didn't fall into my pockets or anywhere around here. Didn't go into here, did it? No, doesn't look like it. Okay, so we'll close that up. See, it didn't go into my coffee cup, did it? No, I don't think so. Let's see. Not there. No, I'll have to search some more for it. To the right of your hands, to the right. So over here, somewhere. Did you watch it on the playback and see is that where it flew off to? Oh yeah, there it is. Thank you. Got it. Yeah, I'm sure I would have found it eventually, but it's nice to be able to find it sooner than later. Thank you so much. And it's not a tiny part. It's a small part, but not that small. So it wasn't gonna just vanish. It's a really small part. It's hard to find, but something like this size It's certainly noticeable. So that's good. All right, thank you. Pop these parts on here, and then move on to the cannons on the backpack. Yay! Awesome. Very good. Crisis averted. Now, I was talking earlier about kind of how the armor fits together and kind of locks together pretty nicely. This part on the front is the one part, though, that doesn't seem to be like too solid. It's just these like two little pegs. You can see the little holes right there. Now, those just fit onto there. But it doesn't seem to be... Well, I guess it is pretty good. Although when building the first leg, it kind of popped off once already. So if it pops off within like the first 5 minutes, that just makes me think that, okay, it's gonna be prone to coming off again, probably readily. Actually, the beam rifle is next. I'm gonna save that for a little bit later. And we'll put together the backpack here. Got like the center part of the backpack and then the two cannons, and kind of similar to like what we saw with the Mosho figure, which I recently reviewed to you guys, and I talked about how the like the extra equipment and everything is versatile, that you could like plug it on in different spots. That seems to be the design idea with this kit as well, and that like the equipment you can kind of like switch around, you can move stuff around if you prefer, kind of thing. Each, and it was like something like that. Glad to be of help. Yes, thank you very much. I wonder if they'll make a big arm add-on for this. That would be very big indeed, but it would be kind of cool. Yeah, considering that it's like based off the Hararu, if we got like Advanced Zeta style big arm set for this, it would be pretty interesting. It would be very large, considering how big the arms are already on this. Doesn't necessarily, there's that little note there that I missed. It doesn't necessarily have to be like the same scale, like how big the big arms are compared to the Gunpla or whatever. Anyway, how big like the Psycho Gundam Part 2's arms are, the Psycho Gundam's arms are. Pig's not wanting to go in there. Come on. Oh no. You do this to me. Let's see. Yeah. Drill this real quick a little bit. Make sure this hole has plenty of clearance for this part. It's already kind of starting to break. I'm trying to put this clear part into here. All right, get in there. Really? Really, really, really. Okay. So it's just like a little bit of flash, like around the end of this peg is kind of what's making it not want to go in. So I thought drilling the hole a little bit should make it okay, but we're gonna have to kind of do both. Drill the hole in, make sure I cut away this flash a little bit. Then we should be very much fine. But let's just double down on this here a little bit. Make sure we've got plenty of space. One of those parts that has like two pegs that need to go in at the same time, but they're like really far apart from each other. So like if you put one in before the other, it kind of won't work. And so you kind of have to try to line them up to get them both in at the same time, which is kind of tricky to do. Especially because now this one's not working. The front one fit in before. No, it's not. Ready now? Yep, there we go. Okay, and as for you, oh no, come on, please. Please. There you go. The peg's kind of like mostly broken off anyway, but I managed to get it in there, so there we go. Now the other side, let's see if these will go in there without any issue. I think that's maybe not going to happen. Let's see. Make oh, no, I just popped it out again. Get in there and stay in there. Just as I thought. Yep. That's how it's gonna be, huh? All right. So this clear green part is giving me a little bit of trouble, but we'll get it. Yeah, the struggle. Sometimes there's a man. Sometimes there's a man. It's just like I said, the two holes for the pegs, like so right exactly on. There's just not any room at all for the pegs to be like even remotely misaligned. Normally you have like just a little bit of leeway. You can kind of like squeeze it in. This one's just not the case. If it's not right on, then it's just not going to go in. I think I got it just about. Yeah, there we go. All right, we got it. Okay. Oh no! Wait a minute. Was there supposed to be something in there? There was. Damn it! Oh shit. Well, almost. we got it anyway. The clear part, just on the bottom, there's another part that's supposed to go in here. Should have been sandwiched in there that I forgot about. Let's see if we're lucky, which I don't think we will be. We have to pull the whole thing apart. I was going to say, if we're lucky, we can get this piece on without taking the thing entirely apart, but I don't think that that's going to be the case. So I have to pop this apart entirely, it seems, at least to be able to get, what's that? That's not that one. What was it? This piece here on the underside. See if I can sneak this on. There we go. Now, okay, good. Everyone okay now? Get on there. Come on, I know you can do it. Why are you being like that? Why are you being like this to me? Okay, now we got it. Now we can finally move on with our lives. Hoping to see your review about the RG Blast Impulse Spec 2. The RG Blast Impulse Spec 2, that's that P Bandai kit, right? I believe it would be. I don't plan on reviewing that one, I'm sorry to say. But so in lieu of a full review, here's my review. It's a great kit. Buy it if you are willing to spend the money for it. Because based on the RG Impulse, which is fantastic. So I mean, like, it's not really too much else that you need to know. I mean, for sure, it's a really, really nice kit. Where is that other side piece? Here it is. Okay. Then we are back and really? That's odd. Okay. I don't like that. Okay. Interesting. Any plans to build and review the 30-minute fantasy night anytime soon? Yes. Yeah. And it will be probably kind of soon. Not super soon. Somewhat soon. Now to build the cannons. So we got these here. Scoot everything up a little bit there. It's getting kind of crowded amongst everything. The other thing that I have to be careful of with a kit like with so many parts and everything, kind of like trying to make sure everything fits together really well. It's just that there's also a lot of just like nub pieces in the mix here, just from the process of preparing all the parts. So what could be the case in one of these instances where I'm trying to get it to fit, it's not totally fitting. It could just be like a little piece of nub stuck in there that's just kind of didn't get low enough onto the floor. So that's what we'll also try to look out for. Oh, yeah, and I wanted to ask you guys your opinion. So not this Saturday. Oh, hang on a second. Let me just take this phone call. Okay, welcome back. Just saw the G-Quox sticker sheet. I know. How is it? I mean, I would assume there's a fair amount of stickers. I mean, that's kind of expected. Just looking at that design, I mean, like when I first saw the design, that was actually, like, to be honest, like one of my first thoughts. Like, ooh, man, that's going to be a lot of stickers on that. Just because of the nature of the design, how colorful it is. And in MG, I mean, there's a lot more that they could do with MG, but in HG, there's only so much that they can do with that. So with these act as like handles that it can like then hold these in the hand, right? These handles that fold up there like that. It's like the color and shape. Color and shape of these parts. What in the heck? Oh, that was supposed to go on there first. That's why. Okay. All right. Taking this off again. Come on. Come off. The color and shape of these parts reminds me a lot of like the Virtue, sort of, right? Something more. Shouldn't have been too quick to put these red piping parts on. They were not supposed to go on quite yet. Put this part on first. Then this part on here, if I could follow the manual. And then where's the other one? Oh, there. And this one here, right? Well, I guess I should check the order. Just assuming. I think that's right. This goes on. Doesn't really matter the order. You can go like that. For our backpack cannons here. That's just about done for that. Just a matter of them making like the connection arms then still up next, and then that'll be it for these. I think the HG of the G-Quacks actually doesn't look bad without the stickers. Yeah, I agree. I think that's true, fortunately, because yeah, it is going to be, I mean, again, just because of the design being what it is, it's going to be a lot of color apps they're just not going to be able to put onto an HG. But yeah, I agree. Fortunately, it looks pretty good even without. But surely you're going to see some very mad lads who are going to actually like be masking everything and all that. It's going to be quite the chore. Not something that I would be interested in doing. We saw that like with the Atlas Gundam as well. It was similar, and whenever you see someone like painting the HG Atlas and like they're going through the trouble of masking everything and all that, just think like, man, what a pain. There's a lot of small and detailed little colors and everything on that design that it's such a chore to paint everything accurately. Gundam Thomas? What? This part should have gone on first. Is there help on the bottom? Yes. I can say that the peg to plug this onto the back doesn't exactly look very substantial, but hopefully it's okay. That's like the center of the backpack here. And all the rest of this stuff goes on, I mean, these must be on a different part. I've got these in the wrong spot, I think. Those are for the shield parts, apparently. All right, this is all connection arm stuff, I think. Or anyway, it doesn't belong here, but so this is going to be ×2. Got this one. There's 2 of these. Just trying to make sure that I don't want to have to take any of this apart again later if I don't get this on the right way for these connection arm parts, just because of okay. well, anyway, you have left side and right side versions of these too, of course. So let's see. Thomas the Tank Mobile Suit. We're reviewing Krieg Army. Is that what is that? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Sorry. Krieg Army? Okay, so this would be this piece like that. Connect that to here. All right, so that's those two parts go together like that. And then, wait, that was right. That goes here. Kind of interesting how the backpack sort of is like a bit similar looking to like the Hazels. I guess just kind of sort of in like how it works, I guess. The new Deathcore Krieg box set from Warhammer. Oh no, I mean, you know I don't build any Warhammer stuff. No. I don't do that. Alright. So here's our cannons, which can come off and be handheld. Oh, the backpack feels like it's like missing something right here on the top. Feels like there should be like a big armor piece thing right there. But now this, you have a peg to plug this onto the back. Doesn't really seem like all that substantial there, but that's pretty much it. Certainly increasing in bulk. We've got one more major section here, like the back skirt, shield kind of booster shields, sort of. Anyway, something like that, and then the long rifle, and that's it. So almost there. What are we at right now? 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's going to be pushing 3 hours to put this thing together. Certainly a hefty build. Basically a kit bash design from AOZ, sort of, yeah. Looks incredible. I think that I may have to get this model. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I'm reviewing this kind of very much after the fact. At least I think for us here, USA Gundam Store, I'm pretty sure that this is sold out, unless there might be maybe one or two available like in the storefront. Maybe I'm not even entirely sure about that. But in terms of like what's available online, I think it's sold out already. I actually wasn't planning to review this kit at all, but kind of just recently was able to get one and wanted to take a look at it. But yeah, I was interested in the design. I thought it looked kind of cool and interesting. I think I started to talk about this a few minutes ago, and then like lost my train of thought or got onto something else. But what I was gonna say, I'm suddenly remembering that I was gonna ask you guys if you have suggestions for something that I should build during the upcoming build day here. It's not going to be this Saturday, but the Saturday after, the 25th. Oh no, this is going to be a pain to get on here. There's a lot of options as to what I could build. Maybe that could be a fun day. Oh. Maybe it could be a fun day to do a live build of the MGSD Wing Gundam, and I can do like a live stream sort of like this, but like out there, like in the actual build room. There's everybody there. That could be kind of fun, interesting. Because typically I'm not able to do any kind of live stream build on a Saturday anyway. But I'm going to be here for the build day. I certainly could. When I've been here for past build days, I'm like, obviously I'm usually building something. But don't like live stream it. Okay. Kind of tricky to get these armor panels on just because of the way that this is all kind of like stacked up. Need to be able to push the center part of it. You can't really get to it very easily. There we go. Okay. There's that. That's the center part of the back skirt kind of part. Internet Fantasy Mega Size Unicorn Gundam. I have the Mega Size Unicorn Gundam. Did you do a live build of that new white and gold HD? No, the Black Knight Squad Caldrea. No, I've not. That could be interesting. I mean, that's a good option. Something that wouldn't be too long of a live build would be cool as well, just because I mean, the nice thing about the build day is to be able to hang out and chat with people as well there too. So I mean, I wouldn't want to be like, I still can do that like to some degree, like doing like a live build like this, talking to you guys, and then there's also like other people around. I mean, I can kind of do both at the same time to some degree, but I like to be able to like be available. A lot of times at those live events, people have questions about things they want to ask, like with help on a part like that they're working on building, or just ask questions, or like, what's my opinion on this or that or whatever. So wouldn't want to be like completely unavailable for like the whole time. So something shorter like the Caldrea. I think that's right, Caldrea. That's when I'm saying it out loud, I'm wondering if that's right. I'm thinking I might be saying the wrong thing. It's close enough that you guys know what I'm talking about anyway. That HG Steed Freedom Kit. Entry grade build strike? No, not that. And chat suggestions for the Gunpla build day went off with great success from my team. A great time was had by all, and now their desks are adorned by Gundams. Nice. Should be getting an order of paints next week too. Nice. That's the other thing I thought about doing for the build day is just painting something. Like I can be in there painting something live, but don't want to be like stinking up the room too much with a bunch of lacquer paints. So maybe not the best idea until like a warmer weather build day when we've got like some tables set up outside or something as well. That might be a better plan. Not to do that while we're inside in this freezing cold Florida weather. Krieger build and paint stream. Yeah, actually that was one of the things I was thinking about. If not for, I mean, that might be something I can do. Not for the build day, but like for the snake build that I'm working on, the snake eye build. Yeah, I might actually do like a live stream painting that. It could be kind of interesting, yeah. So yeah, I'm thinking about that. So maybe we'll plan to do that like next week. And then hopefully the weather will be a little bit nicer, not quite as cold. And I was joking a moment ago, talking about the Florida cold weather. It's obviously not as cold as it is in other places, but it's chilly. Okay. The nice thing here with my computer that I use as a laptop, so I mean, I could go and do a live stream somewhere. I just have to kind of like set up the camera and everything. And like our internet here is good enough to be able to do that. So it's certainly possible. These parts are kind of like very bumpy and spiky and pokey and also very tight. To try to push these together, it's like really rough on the fingers, but got that. It could be easier to push these together once they're sandwiched between these other parts. Just worried if we're going to have another situation where the pegs could be in danger if they're not lined up just so. Oh, okay, got it here. Okay, so that worked out all right. Curious what brand of compressor you have. I'm making the transition finally to airbrushing. So what brand do I have? I actually don't even recall offhand, because I think it's just not like a name brand or something. I think it's just one that I don't know, just one I got like off Amazon or something like that. In my experience with compressors, like I mean, obviously I'm sure if you get a brand name, probably you're getting a better quality compressor overall, generally, I suppose. But I mean, in my experience, I mean, I've used like a Sparmax one, which I loved and was fantastic. But then I've also used just like not name brand ones, just like off-brand ones, and that works really well as well. So yeah, just basically whatever you can find. It's more so the features that you're looking for, especially like when you're just starting out. As long as it's got the right features, then it'll work perfectly well enough to get you started, to get you going. And then like, if you're airbrushing like a lot and you really want to invest in getting like a really high quality one or something, then go for it. But yeah, I mean, just get one that has a tank. I would recommend that. Get one that has a regulator, and get one that has one that has a tank, a regulator, and a moisture trap. As long as it's got those three things, then you're in good shape. Yeah, if it doesn't have a tank, I mean, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't have a tank. I think that having a tank is good because you're not having to deal with any loss in pressure. The tank ensures that you've always got compressed air on hand for whenever you need it. It doesn't have to, like if you're like spraying, you might notice some dip or difference in the pressure. But with a tank, you know, the idea is that it keeps some pressurized air in there in the tank so that it can maintain a constant pressure. Regulator and dust trapper, yeah. The moisture trap is a dust trap. It's this like same thing I'm talking about. It's basically just a trap on there which will catch anything that could get into your paint, moisture or dust or anything else like that. Moisture is kind of the main thing that you have to worry about. So here's our back skirt shield. What do they call it? Yeah, thruster shield. Although I'm not really sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just like a back skirt part essentially. But this goes onto here, and again, even with that part too, it's not like a super substantial connection there for that. As long as it doesn't fall off. Okay, then there's a couple of parts I'm hoping go on the rifle, because otherwise I'm not sure where these parts go. I think I might have missed them somewhere. Let's see. I think I might have missed them somewhere. Yep, I did, on the top of the cannons. Okay, that was silly. Yeah, okay. Should have noticed that something looked a bit weird with the top of the cannons looking like that. Here we go. So I even mentioned about how the top of the backpack looked kind of odd without like any kind of armor piece on there. Didn't really notice straight away about the cannons as well. Okay, anyway, so those are on there. Now we can build the rifle. We'll be done. Have you built this Solomon Silas GPO2? No, I have not, and I don't plan to. Again, I wasn't planning on building this either, so plans could change, but probably will not build that kit. Not necessarily for any like moral reasons, like I don't want to build it because it's like IP bootleg or whatever. Just, I don't know. I have lots of other stuff to build. It looks cool, but I just don't really have any motivation to build it myself at this time. It can stand without a base. Well, I do have it leaning. Well, actually, maybe no, I don't. Yeah, it can stand without a base. Yeah. Yep. Well, you guys can't see how to connect with all this stuff. There we go. You can sort of see that. I feel like zoom out a bit. But yeah, it's standing right here without a base. I can like tap it a little bit. If I tap it, eventually it'll fall down. I also want that you can slightly lean back a little bit. There we go. It's pretty solid. It's got some big, massive heat on there. And it's got these parts here at the back that you can probably hold down like that. That would also help a little bit, even more so to keep it from falling backwards. But yeah, it's not going anywhere. So with as much weight as it has, and in particular a lot of weight on the back side of it, it's really solid. I think that metal frame is probably helping a lot with that too. All right, so where are we? Where's the rifle? All right. Last part for this, and we can call it a day. Mm-hmm. I'll go to bed. It's 11 p.m. in Thailand. I have to work tomorrow. Bye. See you, George. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, let's see. How's this go? Yep, this is right. Okay. Go on this side. Huh? Oh. Oh, interesting. Okay. I spy something here that's going to be quite interesting, it looks like. Or how this camera is going to pop up when you pull. Oh, or zoom back in a little bit. When you pull this part back, it's going to, I think that's the camera bit. It's going to like pop up there at the top. That's kind of cool. Make sure we got everything here. We can close this up. The handle is also here. We do have kind of secondary handle here on like the top. It's more like carrying it. And these parts here. Gonna hit this act 2. Good night, everyone. I feel like a lot of people who are watching maybe in different parts of the world, in particular the Southeast Asia regions, are going to bed. So good night. It's getting late there. Has he entered his lumberjack phase? You're talking about me and my plaid shirt? Wear this all the time. I have a couple of these that I rotate between. Yes, some might say it's a lumberjack phase. Sure. Oh, that's why that wasn't fitting on there properly. There's the nub that I missed on there. Like, oh, was it? Or was I seeing things? I was imagining things, or it was like just hanging on and not actually attached up there. As we're getting towards the end of the build here, let me just kind of somewhat preemptively, just 'cause I'm not completely done yet, but I will tell you guys pretty confidently what are some of my thoughts about this so far. I forgot to put these parts on here. There has been a couple of like minor fit issues here and there, like very minor, nothing that I would say should dissuade you from buying the kit if you're a fan of the design. Really interesting build. The metal frame certainly helps with the stability. It's very hefty and feels pretty solid so far. Now, of course, a lot of times with this kits, I mean, like the initial build can feel good, and then once you actually start to going, like trying to pose it and stuff, once you start moving it around, stuff loosens up very quickly, and that could cause an issue, which is not immediately apparent right now. So I can't say for sure that once I actually start trying to pose this kit that it's not going to become problematic later on. But at least for right now, I mean, for the initial build, everything feels good. Connections for like the main heavy parts, like the arms and legs, all feel like thought out. That they're pretty solid. So that's all good. And yeah, the compatibility of like the different like equipment being able to be swapped around and stuff, like obviously I've not demonstrated that so far. You guys haven't like seen that in action, but like the thruster binders, like the shield thrusters, I should say, and like the cannon binders on like the side of the arm, and like the cannons on the backpack being able to come off for to be used like separately. So that's all good. Just kind of adds to different options, things they can do with this. There's a lot of parts, so you're certainly getting a lot of bang for your buck just based on how much there is here. It's not something that you're going to be able to sit down and finish building over the course of a day or even a couple days, maybe. I mean, if you're building like how I am, you know, like I said, I spent most of the day yesterday just like getting all the parts ready to put together, and then now 3 hours today actually putting it all together. So there's a lot of stuff here. That's weird. Kind of interesting. All right. So anyway, it's just kind of some of my thoughts on the kit at the moment. Really nice. Yeah. Impressive. Quite large, too. I mean, that's the thing, that these original Mecha model designers and companies that are making these kits, certainly one thing that they're going for is to fill that void left by Bandai not producing master grades and larger size kits, corporate grades and all that. So, I mean, if that's what you're missing, then definitely something to look into. What's your idea on Gundam X transformation collaboration kit? What? What's that? I'm not even certain what that is. Love the layered colors, more appealing for people like me that don't like painting. The USA Gundam Store airbrush, fine. I don't know. I don't know if that's something that's really going to be considered too much, considering, I mean, like, we sell other different types of airbrushes, and I mean, it's just kind of, I guess we sell a knife and like other different tools that are like also available from lots of other different companies. So, but I mean, airbrush, I don't know, maybe not super big on the priority list. Here's the rifle though, so let me give you guys an overall length of this. This one's actually coming out to about 37 centimeters. Pretty large. And then compared with the kit itself, here's how this is looking. Ooh, like that. It's a pretty big rifle there. Actually, really quite pleased with how that looks. Pretty cool. Yeah, this part here. Now, is there supposed to be? Hang on. Is there not something that goes on the? Oh, that's weird. That's really weird. What is the deal with that? So, yeah, that's strange. Huh. That almost seems like it's a mistake. So right here, so this part I was just talking about is very cool. You pull this back and like the camera pops up there for like a sniping mode or something, right? But if you look here where it seems like where there's supposed to be a camera, it's like a peg for a part that was not added. Like it seems like there should be like a camera lens or something type of part added onto the front of there. But no, there's the peg for it, but there's not. So that's weird. I can't imagine that it's supposed to be like that. I mean, that's how it looks even in the book. You can see it right there. It's just a peg. There's nothing on it. And in the instruction manual, there's nowhere to add something to it. And there's no other leftover parts. The only other parts that we have here, as far as any other accessories, other than the hands, the only thing we have is this part, which is like a part for attaching the rifle onto this suit when it's transformed. And then other than that, it's just the beam sabers, which are also quite short. I mean, considering how large the suit is, these are actually like relatively small. These are more like similar to like a 1/144 scale, like size beam saber effect parts. But considering this is like larger than 1/100 scale, these definitely should have been larger. And I wonder if like larger beam saber effect parts would be compatible. No. So it wouldn't be, let's see. So these green ones are what we got here. This is a standard size 1/100 scale beam saber effect part. And if you look, I mean, it's a bit longer there for sure. This green one that we have with this kit is similar width, but it's not quite as long. And unfortunately, the peg is a different size, so you wouldn't be able to just swap that. The peg is kind of in between, and then these are perfect grade beam saber, like 160 scale beam saber FX parts. The peg is like an in-between size. It's not quite that thick, but it's definitely thicker than what we have for the 100 ones. And obviously the size, I mean, like these are 160 scale beam saber effect parts, so they're really, really big. But I mean, based on like the size of this mobile suit, I mean, like, you could use something like this big, I think, if you just trimmed down this peg a little bit, if you had some of these left over. I mean, I think they could work. They're not the same color, but I don't know. Anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it for today's live stream. Thanks for hanging out. It's quite the build, and yeah, pretty impressive looking. Just try to move this around here. I can show you guys. A bit nervous to hold it by the backpack because, like I said, the backpack and back skirt connections do seem to be somewhat small. There you go. I'm just gonna switch to this camera here just to show you guys this. So yeah, it does feel like I can already feel like the backpack already kind of just like loosened up on me just right there. So kind of weird that the backpack connection wouldn't be a bit more substantial. So that's a bit worrying. And the same thing for the back skirt as well, this whole section here. Other than that, pretty cool. Very impressive, I gotta say. Certainly very detailed. I know one of the things with these kits is that they're almost a bit like overly detailed, and I certainly agree with that in a lot of cases as well. No included stand. Well, okay, so anyway, just to finish my point, this one's kind of like right on the borderline. It is, even like to my taste, a little bit overly detailed, but I mean, if that's what you're looking for, if you like the super detail, like this style design, I mean, I think this one looks good. It looks nice. It is able to stand perfectly fine on its own. It does come with a stand, but only for the transformed mode, which is kind of unfortunate. Yeah, it really would have been cool if it would have had a stand for when it's in mobile suit form. Yeah, in mobile armor mode, because obviously if you didn't have a stand for that, it would just have to just set it on the table. So it does have a stand for that. Simple, but that's that. So yeah, I guess if you wanted to use it on a stand in mobile suit mode, there is a connection. There's a spot there to be able to plug this onto a stand, but I wonder what kind of stand you could use for this. I don't know if it says in the manual anywhere. Let's see. Not really. Yeah. No. It. What kind of peg would that work with? I'm not sure. Any of you guys seen any more about that? Happy 2025. Your workspace looks great. Thank you. Thanks, Sherry. Like the legs. Everything else feels a bit too much. I mean, yeah. I think it looks pretty good. So yeah, I'm not sure what type of stand you could use with this. If you guys have seen anything more about it, if you know, let me know, because it'd be good information to know for the review. I'm not sure offhand though, and it's unfortunate that it doesn't have one, but that's how it is. All right, guys, that's it for today. Like I said, not sure what the next live stream build might be. The next live stream build might not be a build, but it might just be a paint instead. That machine career kit. So. All right. Oh yeah, that's the slot where the beam rifle goes when it's transformed, huh? Okay, yeah. So this part handle up into there, I guess is what you're saying. Probably. Okay. All right. Well, then I don't know what we can use for a stand for it. We might not be able to. I'm trying to think if I have any stand that would be hefty enough for this guy. I don't think so. I'll have to see if we've got anything that might work for it. I don't know. Okay, guys, until next time, thanks so much for hanging out this morning. Gonna work on some other videos. Until then, see you guys all later. Have a great day. Later. Bye.